I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. We should have good audio. Although that we could have some stream problems because we haven't streamed in a long time. And I literally did a bunch of damage to my OBS. I destroyed Sheezy. Did I get you? Did I actually get you? Did I fool you? Yeah. Anyway, no, I destroyed my OBS. I cleared out so much stuff inside of OBS to clean it up. So now things are smooth. I mean, I've gotten just like, I got all these buttons. Yes. I've got all the buttons. You got me good. I did. Fan-freaking-tastic. You almost typed Cookie. Cookie knows better. All right, well, welcome into the show. We got a couple of things to talk about today, and one of them are these guys right here, right? So, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to turn that. I got to do that because it'll keep going to sleep. So let me connect into the China real quick. Let's see, let me get myself logged into the CCP really fast. Have them do facial scan on me. There we go, got that. Set screen timeout to infinite, never. Anyway, welcome in. Yeah, I did. Yeah, awesome. Anyway, so here's what we're gonna do today. We haven't streamed in a really long time, but here's what we're gonna do. You got to order a few more backups, it sounds like. Yeah, that's right. And we're live. Hey, Atomic Spark. Hello, Mrs. LM. Mrs. LM's here. She's over there in the other office. Let's see, we got Cruisin' Dank. Hey, Dank, good to see you. Hey, Dank, you're on Starlink right now? You just ordered a couple of Bluetti Elite 300 V2 units. Fan-frickin-tastic for work this afternoon. Nice, I like that. We're going to talk about a bunch of this stuff, Hamels Ham. It's going to be good. Sheezy's here, Cookie's here, Soupy Sales. Hey, Soupy Sales, good to see you. Right? Hunter Leach is here. All right. Well, like I said, we're going to go over this, and then we're going to talk about a couple of other things. I guess we are going to talk about, Flock a little bit, probably a little bit later on, but I want to kind of focus on this and this problem because we released a video yesterday, and there's not a whole, so it's, content on YouTube is interesting because when you release videos, you have to tell a story, right? So I'm not interested in news. I'm not interested in being a YouTube channel that's like, hey guys, did you see this latest news thing happened? And then you read the news to them. I don't care about that. When I see things that happen in the world, I see it through my eyes, and I see it through my experience, my lens, and I want to tell the story that I want to tell. And all of the little details sometimes are unimportant to my story that I want to tell. And so some people looked at it and said, hey, you didn't mention anything about the robots. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's because I didn't care about robots. That's not what my video was about. I'm literally talking about independence, freedom, and inverters and off-grid stuff. Yeah, I'm not interested in robots and in Roombas, in vacuums. So, but there was a lot of, I don't want to say confusion. For the most part, people got it, but there were a lot of repetitive comments. And we're going to go over some of those ideas and those topics. So anyway, hey, Builder's Mark is here. Cass is here. Gene. Hey, Gene. It's been a long time. Yeah. So here is what we're going to do. We'll give everybody a couple of minutes to get here, kind of filter in, and then we'll start chatting. Hey, Chad. Hey, Hyperfixed, CGS. Raise your hand in chat, put up a hand emoji or something like that if this is your first time at an LM live stream. I think we've only streamed since February. How many times, Miss LM?
I think this might be the third time.
Once? Twice. Did we do two?
Yeah.
2 since February? Right? But we're going to, oh, awesome. Brett's here. Willpower. If the inverter has a removable Wi-Fi dongle, can the company sell the inverter without it bypassed? Okay, yeah, we're going to go into this. So there's a couple of little things that happened with this news, and I want to take you guys down that path, and then I think that you'll have a better understanding of what's happening, right? Hunter's here. Sheezy, it is not your first time. Unnamed, good to see you. Right? Standing Mannequin, awesome. Yes, they are a very cool company. You're on the Starlink. Yeah, Dank's out in the middle of nowhere, running off Starlink, which is fantastic. Chad, yeah, love the channel. Glad you found it. Well, I'm glad you're here. Well, thank you. All right. So probably here in a little bit, I'll probably go sit down there, or I'll go sit down there here in a little bit. But we're going to do some of it from here so I can kind of point out what's going on with this. Now, this video is not sponsored by Bluetti. I bought a bunch of Bluetti stuff with my own money, like lots and lots and lots of thousands of dollars in Bluetti stuff. And I was already in the midst of setting it up and doing the work. And then Bluetti saw it on social media, and they reached out and were like, hey, we would like to do this. And you're actually going to laugh. It's really funny. Do you think 3D printing content on YouTube is pretty nerdy? Be honest. Do it. Answer in chat. Be honest. Is it? Don't lie, because I know the answer. So, so if you say no, I know you're lying because I already know the answer. No, it is. It's nerdy. We're nerds. It is nerdy. So get this. Do you want to see nerdy content too? I'm not joking. Do you want to see 3D printing content that's not 3D printing content? It's in a different niche. Go right now. Do me a favor. Do it. Go to YouTube right now and type in Apex 300 review. Or do this. Type in Bluetti review. Do it. I dare you. And you are going to find out that it is the same people. It is the same personality. It is the exact same people. It is the same thumbnail types. It is the same personality types. It is the same like filming, the same editing, the same toxicity. I mean, it is the same. Those people are fighting to get the inverters and who gets the reviews, and then they're calling each other out for not testing and who said this and who did that. And oh, dude, Chad, I told you, it is the same thing. Every single set of inverters out there from every brand, whether it's Bluetti or Anchor or EcoFlow, it doesn't matter. It's the same people. It's like a time warp. It is insane. It is. It's totally crazy. It is. They are absolutely the same. All right. So here's the thing. Let me. Builder's Mark. We're gonna try and keep it family friendly, but we're outside of the family friendly 3D printing niche a little bit. So we'll, as long as people aren't saying terrible, horrible things, we'll let it kind of slide in the chat. Because we're in a different niche. That's a different walk of life. So, but thank you, Mark. All right. So try and keep it family friendly the best that you can. Moderators are there. So don't be offended if they delete something you post. Doesn't matter. It's just chats. Doesn't matter. No harm, no foul. Okay. It is a time warp. Dude, it is serious. I'm serious. Go look. This is the same as 3D printing. It's insane. But anyway, here's what I want to show you or to talk about. Do you guys know what these are? Who in chat right now is looking at this and does not know what it is? Oh no, JR just said a terrible, horrible thing in chat. It's true. Do I have sounds? Did you hear that? Did it come through? Heck yeah. I need the remote. Hang on. It was a bit loud on my side. And there's no background music right now. I didn't have time to go through and curate background music the way that we would normally. And because it's been a really long time since I went through and checked all the background music, they could have pulled licenses, since then. And I don't want to have a song in the playlist that's had a license pulled. So we don't want to do that. Anyway, okay. So I asked if you didn't know what this was. Me. Okay, you don't know me. Okay. Yes. We heard it. Okay, perfect. Did I win? Oh, yeah. By the way, Miss Silla, I'm going to drop a link in chat to the giveaway. Go over there and make sure you're signed up for the giveaway. Because it ends tonight at midnight Pacific time. And I'm actually going to say a code here during live stream. And Mrs. Ellum is going to drop it when I tell her to. And it gives you 10 extra entries. And what we're actually giving away is we're giving away this. I'll bring it over here. I'll show it to you. But we're giving away this. It's actually really cool. And then I'll explain what's going on. So this right here, this is a Bluetti backpack. Check it out. It's a pretty good sized backpack, but check this out. And it comes with this. So check that out. No. Hey, wait a minute. Oh. I swear I put on a backpack before. Anyway, check this out. So it's a backpack. Pretty sweet little backpack, but look at this. This monster fits inside it. Isn't that bad? So that is a huge battery, an inverter, right there, that goes inside the backpack. Isn't that sweet? So think about that in an emergency. You can throw that in your car trunk. Weight, I don't even go look it up. I would say 10 pounds. No, it's 400 pounds. Yeah. 400 easy. Maybe 425. Yeah, it's probably 10, maybe 12 pounds. Something like that. Doesn't feel too heavy. Has USB-C, USB on it, and DC out. Pretty sweet. And so you can actually take this with you. What's that in normal people units? 10 pounds, it'd be like what? 4 kilograms? Right? No, it's not too terrible. I think it's pretty cool. So it's a big backpack with this battery in it that slips into it. And so yeah, you'd be able to throw that in the car, take it with you, have it for emergencies, take it hiking, camping. I know one of my dentist friends, they go fishing. And when they go fishing, they disappear, 15, 20, 30 miles back, hiking. And they do all of that fishing alone and gone for like 7 to 10 days. And they take everything with them. And so he talks about how batteries has always been an issue for them the whole time, is having electricity. So he's always tried to work out little solar panel deals and ways to charge stuff and whatever. And so, yeah, he's totally stoked. Anyway, so Mrs. Ellen will drop the link for the giveaway. Go over there, get on that giveaway. If you follow me on X and Facebook, or not Facebook, X, Twitch, YouTube, whatever, you get an extra entry. And then I'm going to drop a code here in a little bit while we're hanging out, and that'll give you 10 extra entries. So while the average person is going to get between 1 to 3 to 4 entries, if you're hanging out here tonight, you get an extra 10. So you'll end up with 11 to 14 entries or so. So people are hanging out tonight are likely probably going to be the winners. And it ends tonight at midnight. Okay, so to explain what these are. So this right here is an inverter. And an inverter is just a term for converting DC to AC. So DC, direct current, to alternating current, AC. Okay, so it's basically taking energy that's stored in a battery, right, and converting it to the electricity that you're familiar with, right, like a wall outlet. Okay, at your home. Okay, that's what this is. Okay, really simple. Okay, this under it, this is completely separate, right? So these are about 80 pounds a piece. So there's about 160 pounds sitting right here on the bench. This is an inverter combo battery, and then this is a solid battery. And this, and I'll explain to you the capacities and how they work, because it's really important to understand what these are capable of before I tell you exactly how this impacts independence and freedom. Oh, you put in a wrong code and it locked you out of the code area? Just refresh the page. I don't think it should lock you out. It's also good in case there's a power outage and have someone that needs electricity for medical equipment such as a CPAP. Yes, that's a big deal, right? Hey, Bobby, how are you? You're all ears. Okay, so this is a system that I chose. And now you can understand why, frankly, I'm a little bit pissed off. Because I went through, and I've been off-grid for more than 13 years on the ranch up here on the top of this mountain. And we had a very sophisticated power system that was an entire wall of inverter technology and charge controller technology. And there was probably $3,000 to $5,000 in copper wiring, probably 50 plus breakers. And I know the new band, yeah. And at 50 plus breakers and a 6,000 pound battery. 6,000 pounds, 3 tons. And huge, massive amounts of power, dangerous, like touch it wrong, blow yourself up. Hey, Dyslexic Drew. Hey, Sandman, Alex. Like it can just kill you if you make a mistake. and the Ethernet hubs, everything connected. It's just a very complicated system to power the ranch. So that because we have a 5 horsepower deep well pump that pumps up to like 85 plus gallons per minute up above the ground from 300 feet down. We strike arcs on welders. We have the house. We have irrigation stuff. We have outbuildings. A lot of power on a ranch, and it's a complicated system, but it wasn't without issue. Right? So some days we'd find out that the power system would just alert. And if I didn't get the alert, the power system would just shut off and everything would go off. And we'd go out there and go, what happened? Well, it threw an alert. I didn't get the alert. I wasn't paying attention. I missed it. And it was because something happened with the charge controllers. There was a voltage fluctuation. It tripped a breaker. And so no solar was coming in, and we depleted the battery, and the battery went into basically like a fail-safe, right, to protect that absorbed glass mat battery technology, the AGM battery stuff. So it would just shut off. And so to protect the battery. And so you'd have to go out there, and of course you can't fire it back up. Sometimes you could, but you couldn't fire it back up, without it doing the same thing again because just the surge in electricity. So we have a 30,000 watt diesel backup generator, and we'd have to reach over and hit the manual and fire that up and let it trickle charge the battery for, 20, 30 minutes or an hour, and then fire the system up, and then let the generator run for hours, burning tons of diesel fuel to fill up the battery bank again and fix the breaker. Like this stuff, it didn't happen all the time, but it did happen because I was the power guy. And so I finally, after all these years of replacing inverters and replacing charge controllers and replacing breakers and doing different things and just whatever managing that system, I was super excited that technology had advanced. It had changed. And we all of a sudden started to enter into this era. I'm almost going to call it like it's the same as 3D printing. When Bamboo Labs showed up with 3D printers, all of a sudden it went from just these, bed slingers that are just with monochrome touch wheel, click wheel interfaces and just old technology. We finally started to see these fast Core XY. We started to see software. We started to see input shaping, and everything got faster and the quality got better and filaments got better and everything was like this ecosystem was just building and everything was becoming just so beautiful in 3D printing. Well, that's what this is. It's the exact same thing. Instead of all of these components from different brands, my charge controllers and my inverters were Outback, they were the same, but my battery was a different brand. And so they don't necessarily know. So you have to put in all this system settings for your battery. And I had to have all these shunts all over inside my electrical system with all these sensors connected. And I had to have sensor technology that then interfaced into the mate and that told what voltages were here and what voltages were here. And when I'm drawing power, what voltages, and when I'm putting power in, what voltage, all of this complicated tech to know what the state of charge is on my battery. And so it became like a frustration. Well, now look at this. See this guy right here? Like I said, it's heavy. It's like 80 pounds. But this is like my entire power system in just this little footprint. Now, I'm exaggerating a little bit because you have to have lots of these, and I have 3 of these in parallel, and there's some other things going on. But this is it. This is the inverter technology. See the switch right here? 120 or 240. We have 240 outlets on the side over here, 30 amp, 50 amp on the sides. You get your standard 110, 120 outlets on the front that you're familiar with at home, right? So, and then it has MPPT, which is your maximum power point tracking charge controllers. And what that means, solar. And it can actually take solar in a couple of different ways to charge this, okay? And then, get this. I'm gonna try and see if I can do this. They're freaking heavy, 160 pounds. Can you guys see this? Look at this. There you go. That's the connection between inverter to battery. Freaking safe. So safe. Mine, I have ginormous breakers to handle an immense amount of voltage on my old system, like kill you. Like I made a mistake, and when I work on it, I have to have giant high voltage gloves and a face shield on and I have to have all my tools wrapped in non-conducting material. Because if I make a mistake, it's instant welding danger, blow up. And I have socket wrenches where I accidentally touched something and it literally welded it. Like, it's dangerous, right? And so look at how nice this is. Very safe. And the way these are set up, right, is that this guy here, they daisy chain. Plugs in there, and then this one goes to the next one, and you stack them up on top of each other, right? So these are really cool. Okay. Uses a free EcoFlow units on his boat. Oh, EcoFlow, yeah, yep. So we're going to talk about that because EcoFlow is another good brand. Anchor and EcoFlow. Plug it in. That's right. You entered the wrong code. Oops. Does it ban you if you put in the wrong code? So now that we've got that, so we'll give you the code here in a minute. So don't get yourself blocked out of the code thing. So now I'll explain. This is the inverter. This is a battery. You can put LiFePo 4. You can put 6 of these per inverter. And I have 3 inverters, so you can have up to a total of 18. And so now this one is about 5,120 watt hours. And this one has like 2,700 watt hours in it. And so just for you that, if you don't know what I'm talking about, watt hours are just basically the amount of watts consumed over an hour. So if you had like a 10 watt light bulb and you ran it for an hour, that would be 10 watt hours. Okay. So if your laptop takes, 35 or 40 or 50 watts, to run, to keep it going, and you ran it for an hour, that'd be, 35 to 50 watts, whatever. So imagine if you have 5,120 watts, how long you can run your laptop. Right? That's basically how that works. Okay. Anchor, not EcoFlow. Yeah, Anchor, good brand. I almost went with Anchor. So anyway, so this is why, so think about this, 5,000 here, 2,700 here. This is about 8,000 watt hours here. And so think about the amount of battery capacity that you can have when you have 18 of these and 3 of these. It's a lot. And somebody can do the math. It's probably around 100,000 watt hours. Now, this is why this kind of pissed me off, because I tore out my old system and I chose this system, and we ordered it and we spent a lot of money, and it shows up here and we get it plugged in. It is night and day simplicity. All of this wires and complexity, transformers, right? Like all of this stuff, I tear off the walls and we throw it outside. So much money and so much complexity. And I literally go up and I swap some breakers and I mount a hub on the wall, and everything uses like 50 amp RV style plugs. Big old plugs, you just pull them out, plug it in. Everything is so safe, so simple. And we hook up the new solar charge controllers, and then they have big plugs, and the big plugs go right here. Nope, these are the small solar ones. The big ones go back here. And they're big plugs, they pop in, they're super smart, they're digital. They have communications that run through them along with power. Everything is just so nice. And we set it up and we start building it out. And I'm telling you guys, and on social media and friends and family, just how incredible this tech is. And then as we're using the tech, and as we're preparing for it, I ended up posting on social media maybe a month or so ago, and I said, they're going to ban them. They're going to ban them. Hey, Tobonius. Hey, Matt. Hey, Toad. Hey, Rain Cry. Richard Strange, how are you? And I said, they're going to ban them. And I knew that this tech was already advancing a long time ago when I made my short film for the 3 printing bands. And because I'm off grid, I'm following along with that tech. And as this tech was advancing, I went, you know what? The government is always in this weird position where they don't like you being independent, right? So my children are homeschooled. And even in here in this state, we we didn't take any of the state government assistance to homeschool, but they kept pushing it. They kept offering it, saying, "Hey, we'll give you some money so you can homeschool and help pay for books or send your kids off to the aquarium, things like that." And but there's always a catch, right? It wasn't about supporting you in the ability to be independent and homeschool your children. My wife is a molecular biologist; she's very smart, and she took care of that. It was always that they wanted access. So the assistance came with, well, if you take the government assistance to help pay for books and pencils and erasers, then you become a part of the school district. And then we get to come to your house and we get to inspect your house and how your children are learning. And then we get to test your children. And then if we don't like what we see, we get to stop you from homeschooling and your children have to come to school. And it was always this, nothing comes without strings attached. And so obviously we understand that, right? We get that. So the reason I'm saying that is there's a parallel here. So 3D printing to me is freedom and it's independence. It allows people to create and make whatever they want. You can start on a Friday, design something, begin printing, and have a small business running by Sunday or Monday. You can think of something, you can design it, you can print it, and that's ultimate freedom, to craft things that were in your mind, to get them into your hands. And a 3D printer allowed that. So what happens when a 3D printer, they started the bans, and they used ghost guns as the mechanism, right? So they're banning them in different states. They're putting restrictions on them. They're putting technology on them to check your prints, against databases, blah, blah, blah. We've done all that content before. Okay, so I knew it. The moment that this stuff became so easily accessible, inexpensive, and the user experience was there, that people could just click order, get it UPS delivered, plug it in, call up your power company and say, I don't want to pay you anymore, disconnect me. The moment that could happen, I said, they're going to ban it. They can't have that. Well, look what happened. It didn't take very long. And ultimately, that was the ban that came 3 days ago. The ban, I'll explain the ban now. And then I'll read some chat because I can see my name popping up there a little bit here. So I'll let you ask questions or not let you. You can ask any questions you want, but I'll answer some. So what happened is the ban came. And the ban, it was two things. It was robotic, AI, robot stuff, and then it was power inverters. And then the ban is there, but then there's some exceptions, some caveats to it. So they banned all foreign power inverters, right? All foreign power inverters. So in 2020, about 7% of the inverters in the United States were manufactured in the US. 7%. It's changed a little bit since then, but not enough to make a meaningful difference. I would say it's probably at max 10%. And actually, I'm guessing. So I'd say max 10%. But the fact is that they've gotten easier and cheaper, and people are buying them. I would probably say that the domestic market is probably 95% in use, foreign inverters. So they basically said, listen, we think, hey, Save the Humans, we think that this is a national security threat to have inverters like this that are connected to networks because data centers. And I was like, what? So hold on. Because of data centers, you're banning all foreign power inverters. And it's right there in the documents. Mrs. Ellen, she's been linking to the FCC document. And I was like, well, that's really strange because this type of tech right here is not in data centers. This is like domestic. And if you were really trying to stop like a national security threat with data centers, I mean, intelligent people, can't you just carve out, right, and say, hey, how about data centers can't use foreign inverters, or data centers can't have network connected inverters? I don't know. There's a million ways to do this. But to just outright ban all foreign inverters, That's the tell that something else is going on. And so this gets banned, but these are allowed because they're already approved. So these got approved prior to the ban. So the Apex 300, the B500K, anything else, whatever that's currently being sold and approved, it can be sold and continue to be sold. Anything new can't. So think about that for a moment. Some people are okay with that. They're like, well, that's good. I mean, that makes sense, right? No. Imagine that they just banned all cars. No new cars could be manufactured or imported. Okay, technology stops, or innovation stops. The technology freezes. It's done. What you have is what you get, right? I don't even know what they're going to do for firmware updates. And how does that play into it? Right? They did the same thing with drones and routers. And that was actually in that FCC document. So this becomes a problem. Because for someone like me who wants to spend tens of thousands of dollars more, and I already have tens of thousands of dollars into it, you just froze my frickin' power system. The rumors had it that there was going to be a B700 or a B750 or an 800 or something, like a bigger one of these. So if you add 25% more capacity or 20% or something, or 50% more capacity to this and replace that with 18 of them, that's quite a bit more. So they ultimately go, nope, you're done. So now you're froze, you're stuck. This is it. This Apex 300, that's it. If there's an Apex 350 or an Apex 400, nope, that's it. Can't have it, banned. And then they created an approved list. Now, where have we heard the approved list from before? Can anybody tell me where recently in things that are being banned did we hear the concept of an approved government list? Come on, somebody. These don't need firmware updates. These do need firmware updates. Come on. Oh wait, not flock cameras, not drones. Come on. Think California. Think, well, you said not taken by printers. It's the printers, 3D printers. California, remember? They went through the whole thing where California wanted to set up an approved government list of printers where you have to apply, right, to have your printer on the list to be sold in the state of California. So they did. They basically said, hey, listen, we're going to have an approved list of power inverters, and you have to apply to be on that approved list. And I'm going, oh my gosh, this is insane. And so again, data centers aren't using this, right? These are for homes, offices, things like that. Okay, what happened to freedom? I know it's like it's going away. Freedom's out of date. SLM, we've had freedom for so long. Like we want something else. Like how about no freedom? Let's try that. Okay, get this. Okay, here we go. Now, reading the documents that went along with that FCC ban, there's something interesting that I caught in there. Okay? They said that there's 46 gigawatts of power connected to the grid in the United States that comes through inverters. Right? In their document, they said that's 46 nuclear power plants worth of power connected to the grid that comes through inverters in the United States. And they were talking about how this is really, really important that, national security, infrastructure, critical infrastructure, relying upon the grid, and to have that much power coming through inverters. But that's not the part, we already know this, right? That's not the part that caught me the most, I think. Okay? What got me was when they started talking about batteries. Hey, BYU fan, good to see you. Hey, Jeffrey. Thomas, how are you? Ethan, good to see you. Hey, Free Kill. What got me was that they were talking about battery storage. And they spent an awful lot of time in that document talking about battery storage. And it seemed to me that seemed to be the real concern. It wasn't the inverters. It was the DC to AC conversion, and it was battery storage. And I went, oh, that makes sense. It's batteries. It's really not the inverters. Is that why they just recently announced that Ford, GM, Tesla, and others are now going to manufacture batteries for critical infrastructure? And they got federal loans and tax breaks to build the batteries domestically. So these become a serious problem. Because for people who are disconnected and who are off grid, people who want to opt out and disconnect, this is the solution you buy. You go onto Amazon or you go to their website, you click it, you buy it, it shows up via UPS or FedEx. You plug it in, and in 30 minutes, you're independent. All of a sudden, it's got failover. If the grid shuts off or you reach up and flip the main breaker off on your house, the pass-through is there, or not pass-through, the what's it called? Switchover is instant. Your lights may not even flicker. And it's running off of this, right? And then you're like, well, how do you get power on it? Because you're on a battery, right? How do you power your whole house? You'll run out of battery. Well, generator. Literally, generator just plugs right in, hit the switch on the generator. The generator feeds your house load and charges this up. Shuts your generator off, you're good. Oh, solar panels. Set some solar panels up. They plug in right there, and they plug in over here, and now that keeps you filled up during the day, powers everything for your whole home to run on battery at night. That's the problem. That is the entire problem. And then you look at what they did with generators, and I made a video on this about a month or two ago. 10 to 20 millisecond switchover, yeah. I made a video on this a month or two ago about California banning generators, California and New York. And they're banning small portable engines, and they're using the environment is the reason. And so think about that for a moment. So now we're banning portable generators, and now we're putting a ban on foreign inverters, which is easily 90% of the market. Really? So people going out and buying land in the middle of nowhere, or just wanting to disconnect and say, you know what? I don't want to pay for power anymore. I want to have power when the grid goes down or shuts off. We were at the movie yesterday watching Spider-Man. I did it. I said it without vomiting. Spider-Man. We went to watch Spider-Man yesterday in the theater, and one of the opening credits, I guess, or opening trailer kind of things before the movie started, before the trailer started, it was the local power utility district in the valley, and they were advertising that they have this new system called, what was it called? PSPS, PSP2, PSPP, something. PSPS, maybe. Power safety, power shut off, I don't know, something. But they were advertising here in our local valley now that in the event, of fire or, grid overload or something like that, that they had zones that they would shut off, like rolling brownouts. This is America. My gosh, man. I get it. I've been to Mexico 20-something years ago in Mexico City, and I sat in offices there when I was working, and they had rolling brownouts go throughout the city because they didn't have enough power. I get it. This is in a town in the center of Washington State that has 2 hydroelectric power dams on each side. There is more power than we could ever use in our lifetime in this valley. And they're shutting it, and they're saying, well, we have to have these rolling brownouts in the event, for wildfire danger. Well, it's really weird. We didn't have that the entire time I grew up in that valley. The biggest wildfires ever that have come through when I lived there, and no, nothing. And this is what I'm saying. It's a really strange thing that in a time when power is becoming so important, and data centers are sucking up power, and they're shutting off power, they're rolling out power, they're not building new power plants. Now all of a sudden, they go after our ability to have generators after our ability to have power inverters, to store battery power. And if you go, I think this guy's off the rails. I think this guy's a nut. He's a conspiracy theorist. Well, one, I'm not. Really annoyed, right? Because there's literally rules in states that don't make sense. And I commented in my video how states have rules on how you can't be disconnected from the grid. And if you have solar and grid, you can't have battery backup. What? Why not? And they claim it's a safety thing about your battery could be providing power, and if the grid goes out, then your system would backfeed power back into the grid, and that could shock alignment. Yeah, well, we have these things called transfer switches. They've been around a long time. Yeah, people with generators, yeah, we have those. I'm not connected to a grid, but yeah, they do exist. And so, do you understand? Like, doesn't make sense. And then you have other cities which are completely opposite, right? They say if you're connected to the grid, then you cannot have solar or battery. There's just all these crazy rules, and it's getting out of hand. So does that make sense? I wanted to answer a bunch of those questions. All right, so now let's chat. In order to chat, I'm going to walk back over to my desk, right? Okay, then we're going to talk about the giveaway. Get you guys in there. I'll probably drop the code for 10 extra entries, and we'll do it that way. Okay. All right. So let's answer some questions. I have chat up so I can see chat right here. I'm gonna drink some energy drink. I have a little bit left in this one, and then I got to open a fresh one. Okay. Who here thinks I'm a total conspiracy nut? That was a crazy rant for 45 minutes. Who thinks so? Moderators, get ready. Everyone who says yes, ban them. BYU fan, safe. Musical ATV, safe. Jeffrey, safe. Geo, safe. Miss LM, well, you can't vote Mrs. LM. You would say I'm crazy. She's over there laughing. Dyslexic Drew, safe. Richard Strafe, safe. Yeah, when you don't have power, you don't have indoor plumbing. Well, some people don't. We do. You have 4 deep cell D3 batteries. Good solar panel. Awesome. You're back on the juice. I know, free kill. Some people are just ignorant. Your track record of being correct is with you. Hamless ham. Serious? I don't know. It's not like I'm sitting over here like predicting this stuff. And I spent my entire life in information security. I was a professional hacker and had an information security company. And I'm really good at picking out situational awareness, but mostly I'm really good at picking out patterns. And so I would sit there and I would look at something and identify, I'm like, this fits a pattern that I've seen, 5 or 7 other times. As soon as these things become inexpensive enough and easy to use that anyone can just order them and plug them in, they become simple, they're going to ban them. The Apple one's not bad. I got a couple in the fridge. This is the Nitro. I don't like regular Monster. I'm not a fan of the regular Monster flavor. This one tastes like orange citrus, and but it's pretty strong. Yet you got to be a man, or a very handsome woman. Mrs. Elliott just laughed. You have to be a man or a very handsome woman to be able to handle this energy drink. Mrs. Ellum just laughed from the other room.
We're going to have to do a stream sometime next week or something.
You just missed the rant. Okay, we'll do it again, Speed Racer. I'll start over. No, Monster is 666. Look it up. Those are 3 Hebrew letters. The 6th on the alphabet. Feed the beast. What? It's a monster. So you are a handsome woman, right? I could be. You've all seen him. You've all seen me. How do I bring that up? Can I bring it up? How do I bring up my handsome womanness? Hang on. I got to go studio mode. Hold on. I used to have a button for it. I just don't know where the button went. I used to have a button for it here. Where'd it go? Nope. Is it? Oh, here it is, right? There we go. How do you like that? Not that. Hey, DMAT. Yep, that DMAT. Right there. That handsome little woman right there, she can handle an energy drink. You, that's Twitch stuff, man. YouTube is not ready for that. It's true. It's true. YouTube may not be ready for that craziness. We can't unsee that. It's too late. On Twitch, it gets a little crazy on Twitch. Anyway, so no, I don't think it's crazy to think this way, and here's why. I want you to imagine that you go and you buy 5, 10, 15, 20 acres or something, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour away from a Walmart, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And it's in the timber or it's in the dry desert, whatever. And you go there because you want to work your job or you want to have a part-time job or a small business and you want to live there and you want to build, you want to create, you want a homestead essentially. Oh, hey, did we lose camera? Yeah, we did. We lost that camera? Hang on, let's go find out what happened. Why did we lose camera? No, we lost the camera for the bunker set. Huh. Why you do that? Why you do that, camera? Oh, it actually powered off. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, powered off. We'll see if it's working. There we go. Anyway, no battery in it. It's USB plugged into the wall. That was weird. Flock. I got flocked. Can you guys see the flock camera? They're flocking us right now. So anyway, see those devices right there? You can literally take those devices with you and you can set those down, plug in, and you have power. Power gives you life. It's everything when you're trying to build remote or to be independent and have freedom. The grid goes down. Power is what makes you and your family comfortable. It protects you. It keeps you safe. If you have medical devices that rely upon it, if you have phones and you have radios, those things are what give you that comfort. Air conditioning, right? All of that is so important. And to take those devices and to put a blanket ban on importing anything foreign that that obviously is newer, that's not on their approved list, that's an attack on our independence. That's an attack on our freedom. And I don't think that is a nut job take. I don't think it's a conspiracy theorist take. I think that's a very common, level-headed interpretation of that ban. Because that's so frustrating. There are people that I know okay, here's what it's doing. Again, I live on the top of a mountain and I live on a ranch that's 100% off grid. We have no network no outside physical connections. I built the roads to come in. I built all the buildings, the houses, the studio. I built it all with my hands and completely off grid. This ban of that right there stops you from having what I have. It just ends it. Because technology, how it's advanced so far with inverters in the last couple of years, in a handful of years with this ban in place, that stuff right there will be old, it'll be junk, archaic. And they know that. And so it's not about removing them all yet. It's not about I could see that in the future they're going to say, hey, if you have a network connected inverter, we're going to just pass a new law that it's illegal to connect it to the power grid. There you go. That's it. They just have to pass that law. Now that they've banned the import of them, they've got everybody focused on national security and critical infrastructure. You just pass a law that bans them, that they can't be connected to the grid anymore. And this is what I'm talking about. So, okay, now with that, all right, let's ask some questions. Let's do this. And then Miss Ilham, drop the link to the giveaway, and then I'll explain what's going to happen while people drop some questions here. We have a giveaway for a battery backpack. It's a Bluetti backpack with a big battery inverter that goes in it. What? Did I lose the lab? No, I didn't. Oh, nice one. Nice one, DMAT. Nice trick. You got me. You got me. Ban DMAT. Is it possible to upgrade the hardware? That's the downside. If you were to use domestic stuff and cobble it together, this brand of inverter and this brand charge controller and this brand of battery and this bus thing, like that, you could kind of upgrade and keep it going, but you pay more for it. It's domestic. And I'll be honest with you, these foreign ones that you're looking at over there, they're so much better than anything that's made domestic. It's kind of like 3D printers. The 3D printing tech that's coming in is so much superior to the stuff that's built here. And that's not saying that Americans can't do it. We absolutely can. It's that we haven't been doing it. And until it gets here and we start doing it, it's just the way that it's going to be. But it's going to be expensive. So it'll be cost prohibitive. But no, this system, like, you can't upgrade it. Okay, here we go. Solar panels, I doubt that they would ban solar panels. But I bet that they would, if anything, that they'd put a license restriction on them. Are you guys familiar with New Jersey and the rain tax? You familiar with that? So in New Jersey, they found out a way to charge you when it rains. Can you believe that? Yeah. Yeah, they did. So I can absolutely see it. It's like kind of like my well up here. Many times here in Washington State, they've tried to put a meter on private wells to charge us for the water that we're using out of a well. So I can totally see that they would say, well, you're using solar panels, so we're going to charge you for the amount of power that you're consuming. How does the government deal with Amish folks? I do not know. I do not know. I do envy them, though. Yeah, well, that's the problem with rules. Yeah, it's not a law, it's a rule. We let them make rules. Why do flat earth people, hold on, where'd it go? Why do flat earth people exist? I do have that question, actually. I've met people that don't think that we've been to the moon. And like, that's a weird thing for me. To see, like, that's just a really weird thing. And I'm like, you're kidding. And they're like, no, I'm serious. I'm like, stop it. Like 20 years ago. Like, no, I'm serious. And I just look at them and shake my head. But then there's people, I think that the flat earth stuff started out as kind of like a meme, as a joke. And then I think within that, what do you call it? I think that people start believing it. Like, they start believing, becoming the meme. Member for 2 months, LM community. Hey, BYU fan. Thank you for that. I don't know what that means. What does it mean when it pops up green and says you are a member for 2 months? Does that mean that you renewed and there was a button you click? It says, to be honest, you're better off without Playmaker. Huh. Yeah, no, that company's got some, they've got some issues. They got some problems. Doesn't work. Hello from Australia. Things ain't much better over here. Are they doing it? Are they banning inverters? I'm gonna go turn a fan over and blow it this direction in the studio. The only thing I could think of is that that camera could be overheating. Maybe. So we'll see. We'll put a fan on it and see if that does it. Okay. All right. Sun said, wow, I haven't seen that guy in ages. Is he doing okay? Even the younger fans miss you. Well, H Rockstars, that's awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Tell the little ones hello. All right, it says, I built my own LiFePo 4 314 amp hour 12 volt battery with 12 volt 2000 watt inverter in the backseat of my extended cab Ranger. I think that's cool. I think that's very cool to have AC wherever you go. Hey, Alex Waverly, how are you doing? What is your favorite conspiracy theory? Oh, my favorite conspiracy theory, not something that I believe. Hyperfixed. So my favorite conspiracy theory, something that I don't believe. I don't believe in chemtrails. My brain won't let me believe in chemtrails. And because of the whole concept that there would have to be so many people involved in chemtrails for it to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah, from the bottom all the way to the top, from the people that make the chemicals to the people at the airport that load the chemicals to pilots to, you know, leaders of countries. There would just have to be so many people involved in a conspiracy like that, and to have nothing leaked or accidentally, or you know what I mean? You know, that's my thing with that. Will Bluetti attach to an EcoFlow? No, they won't be interoperable like that. However, I have seen some really crazy projects where people took Bluetti battery extensions like that. They're basically just LiFePo 4 battery banks with a battery management system. And I have seen where that they've hacked cables, and they've been able to either connect other batteries to them or them to other batteries. So I have seen stuff like that. Let's see. Let me find out. I'm related to people who don't believe in the moon. The machinery got on the moon and Mars, whether people got on the moon and Mars. The more rules, the greater the chaos. Go against the grain, the machine comes for you. The birds aren't real. A lot of flat earthers started as moon landing deniers. The lengths that the flat earthers go. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll through here. I'm not ignoring anyone. I'm just trying to scroll through. Got to get moved and get back on my battery research. Awesome, Thomas. Sorry, I actually hit the mute. Oh, is that what happened, DMAT? You seem tougher and more whatever, but I'm learning. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Andrew. Glad you're here. Just found you. Love the vlog content. Hey, here comes sunshine. Thank you. How do they make you pay money for a well that you've drilled and paid for yourself? Well, because actually, if you know anything about a well, especially here in Washington State, when you drill a well, when you core a hole in the earth and you find water, that becomes a water source for the state of Washington. It's not mine, right? It actually has an identification number, and according to Washington state law, that becomes a body of water, a legitimate freshwater source for the state of Washington. And so it actually gets published on a map, and the drill records are public, and people can go look it up, and they can see where it's at and how much water it produces, and they can see the test results on it, you know, how clean the water is, all that kind of stuff. So it becomes a fresh water source for the state of Washington. And because of that, they have tried so many times to then say, well, it's our water, so therefore we want to come up and put a meter on it. There's already rules and laws on how much water you can take out, right? So there's already laws for that. And but yeah, they want to definitely make it difficult. Yeah, a lot of conspiracies do come true. Isn't that crazy? Let's see. Power banks getting axed. Yep, they are. You see them right there? We're just talking about that. So they came through and they put a ban out about 3 days ago on power inverters, and they're claiming that it's data centers, critical infrastructure is the reason why. Are we collecting rainwater? No, we don't really collect rainwater. We built our system up here on the mountain where we have a water building, and we have that deep well. We pump water out of the ground, and then it goes, we can irrigate directly from that with that pump. and then it actually goes into a 2,500 gallon above ground cistern in the water building that it feeds the domestic side. So at any given time, if we lost power, something terrible happened, or let's say the pump died, in an emergency, it doesn't matter. We have 2,500 gallons of fresh water sitting above ground that we're using. And it has an automatic float in it. Let's see. So no, we don't collect rainwater. Minerals oil, that's insane. Ridiculous for the water stuff. Yeah, if I may ask, what the flow rate of your wells? So it was actually, on the well report, they put 85 plus gallons per minute. And because when the well pump truck was here, that's all they could test for. They use a couple of different tests, a pressure test and whatever, and they're like, you exceeded our tests, so you're well over 85 gallons per minute. It's a lot of water. And when they were drilling it, they sent me pictures, and it was insane to see that much water just flowing down where we were making a road and then hanging a left and going off to wherever it went. When they evacuated the well, it was a lot of water. So compared to our neighbors, so a neighbor down that way had a half a gallon a minute, which is terrible. They could run a garden hose and just run their well dry. I think they re-drilled and got 3 or 5. Property to the south of us might have 20 or something. To the east and north of us, I think that one has like 9 or 11, something like that. So we're on a mountaintop. It's not known for water, but we drilled and we cored right through a bunch of water-bearing soft rock, which was fantastic. And so if you know anything about well drilling, it's like a core in the earth. And it's like, think about a kitchen sponge. Cut a hole in it if it's wet, and the sweat bubbles of water just kind of fall in. Well, that's what a well is. They core the earth, and there's water-bearing soft rock, because water is moving like hydraulics, high pressure through that rock. Because water moves through concrete, you know that. It takes a really long time, but it does. So soft rock and hydraulics and mountains pushing down on water and pushing water through rock, those little bubbles form and they drop into the well. And when you have hundreds of feet of that, those little droplets add up to an awful lot of water. And so, yeah, we got a lot. No, that contrary to popular belief, that's people think that there's like an aquifer, like an open body of water underground. In some places that may be the case, and that would be a freak thing, but most people misunderstand how wells are actually drilled and how they get water. There's no like underground rivers, underground like lakes, things like that. Most of it is soft or broken water-bearing rock and soil. That's what they call me on the mountain. They actually call me Bubble Man. Yeah. I prefer they didn't, but yeah. So what about the data centers? From Salmon, Idaho. Awesome, Cyrus. Okay. Yeah, just drilling till you hit the water table, a level of water before it can sink anymore. All I know is ours is deep, almost 500 feet. It's a long ways down. Yeah, ours is 319. No, I know that there's underground lakes and rivers, but that's not what wells are. They're not tapping into those. There are absolutely fissures in rock where water is moving, and there's absolutely pockets of water and things like that. Matter of fact, when I was in Mill Creek, I was shocked to find out that there was some underground river thing that surfaces in Mill Creek, and that salmon show up in this little body of water on the backside of Mill Creek. And I'm like, what? And I'm like reading the little sign, and they're like, this little swampy area of water. And I'm like, they got to be kidding me. And they said, no, that there is an actual underground river somehow, and salmon pop up in it. I'm going, that's crazy. Yeah, salmon are crazy. Yeah, I don't think they would like that. All the tourists shoving them out of the way to throw a line in. Yeah, artesian wells. We have a friend. Had a friend. They moved. They sold their property, but they had an artesian well on it. We have a friend that has a property to the south that actually has a strange bubbling of fresh water coming out of the ground. Okay, Cass, how are you? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We've been streaming now for, I don't know, about a little over an hour. Oh. How is the stream quality, by the way? Let me know. And the reason why I'm asking you is because we are streaming a little bit differently. We have a different tech setup here to get the signal out, and also managing things. And we really cut down OBS. How is the signal? How's the clarity? I should be coming through like incredibly handsome, like probably 9.5 out of 10. That's what I should be coming through. If I'm anything less than that, it's a compression with YouTube. Stream is great, clear, been pretty good. Only a few jitters, awesome. Stream is good, looks good, bro. Okay, appreciate it, thank you. Yeah, we're doing things a little bit differently, and then we'll translate this over to Twitch as well when we stream over there. Okay, perfect, awesome. Perfect, except for a few lags, cool. Yeah, we are on Starlink, yeah. My shirt is a little pink, is it? Dang it. Good quality, 5 or 6. Ooh, True Blonde. Must be getting some compression there, True Blonde, if I'm only coming through as a 5 or 6. Okay, Mrs. LM is going to drop a link in chat, and it is for the giveaway that ends tonight at midnight. And I'll show it to you really quick. I'll walk over there. I'll show it to you. And then I'm going to give you a code. So the people that are paying attention, the people who are watching are going to get a code for like 10 extra entries. How's that? Oh, you've had a little bit of connection consistency on the edge of your workplace Wi-Fi? Okay. Okay, Miss LM just dropped the link. So, oh, that's the community. We want you to go join our community. We're actually going to phase out Discord completely, and we're going to be running everything through our community.loyalmoses.com. So obviously go there, sign up, and get an account there, because that's where we're going to post the majority of stuff going forward. Miss LM just dropped a link right there in chat, and that one is for the Sweep Widget giveaway. And we're giving away this backpack and this inverter that goes in the backpack. So here's the backpack, right? Kind of a sweet, cool backpack. And then this is the inverter that goes inside of it. So it's an inverter and battery. Pretty sweet, huh? So you can take power with you. So I think it's cool to take it with you if you're camping, things like that. But I think probably the biggest use that I see for it, there are chemtrails, Craig says. And Craig yelled it. So Craig is serious. So I think, I personally think that those types of systems are cool for hiking, camping, things like that. That's cool. But I kind of see that battery backpack as a really good emergency tool. You know what I mean? I really see it as have that in the trunk of your car, or have that in your house already plugged in and ready to go, that in a moment's notice, in the middle of an emergency, you have power. Lots of charges of phones, laptops, radios, all sorts of stuff like that. So that's what I see. But anyway, well, yeah, it'll do a lot of charging of phones. So I really think that's what I see it as. Yeah, it'll run Starlink. If you had a Starlink Mini, no problem. Could it power Starlink Mini and laptops and phones and radios and everything for a really long time. So yeah. Anyway, we're going to give one away, and it ends tonight. The giveaway's been going for like 30 days, and that ends tonight. And I'll do the drawing probably either after midnight tonight, or I'll wake up in the morning on Saturday and do the drawing. Ham Radio Parks on the air, yeah, totally. And we'll do that, and we'll draw the winner. Now, when you sign up for the giveaway, don't put anything in the secret code box, because I'm about to give you a secret code. The way that it works is when you sign up for our giveaways now, we're going to have them on the Sweep widget, and there's a giveaways channel on our community. So community.loyalmoses.com will always have the giveaways there that are currently running. You'll go over there, click it, enter it, whatever, do all the stuff. There's always extra entries for, if you follow me on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube or follow me on X, things like that. Okay, so now I'm going to give a code. You know what I'm saying? And let's see. Portal Pacific says title is bait by. We literally talked about these being banned. It's a Clippy. Clippies are funny. We had a Clippy come in, Clippies are Louis Rosman audience. That's the people that have the Clippy thing. We had a Clippy person come into my comments and say that they couldn't handle my channel because my channel was too depressing. Where's my Zoom? Do I have my Zoom working? Dang it, my Zoom's not working. And I'm like, hold on. My content is depressing? Wow. And I was like, and you're a Clippy? Okay. All right, dude. Would it run a heat pump? Well, the backpack? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, probably. The code is password. No, it's not. Okay. Jeffrey says, I have the best Clippy. No, I'm not against Clippies. The Clippy avatar is awesome. So, yeah. Yeah, Hyperfix, yeah, exactly. No, Louis Rosman's a good dude. Very passionate, smart dude. You know what I mean? But he obviously covers a lot more, hot takes and those views than I do. And so that's why I was like, a Clippy was telling me that my content was depressing. I'm like, bro, like you changed your avatar to a Clippy. You know? Okay, are we ready? Here we go. I'm going to give you a code. So the way it works is you're going to get a code and it's going to give you like 10 extra entries in the giveaway. So anybody that's here hanging out who gets this code, who goes and puts it in, is likely the one that's going to win. Because you're getting, you'll have like 11 to 14 entries as compared to people who weren't here. They're going to have like 1 to 4 entries. So yeah, so you people here, probably more likely to win. All right, Mrs. LM, I'm locked out of the extra entries. Hold on, because you tried to push something in. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm just gonna give you the code and then I'll figure it out after. So people can start putting the code in and I'll go see if there's a way to, hang on. Hold on, I know, hang on. I bet there's a box that says allow extra codes. And because, hold on, let me try. Give me a moment, just relax. People, entry methods. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find something. That's not it. I don't see a way to clear that. There's an option that says prohibit duplicate secret codes. I don't know what that means, but yeah, don't know what that means. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the code. All right, Mrs. LM, let him have it. It should be LM ban 33. Let's attack them. Wait, who are we attacking? Wait, who? Chip? Wellington? Who are we attacking? I'm the only one that's doing what? Oh, buffering, the stream buffering. There it is, code, you got it. So Motomite got it. So it's right there. So the code for the giveaway, so click on the sweep widget, go there. For extra 10 entries, it's LM band 33. Miss Ellen put it there, and Motomike's got it. So go put it in, tell me if it works. It should. And next time, now you know not to put in codes that you don't know. There's that number 33 again. Surprise. Did it work? Fantastic, love it. Awesome. Perfect, okay, now, I like that. Okay, so to wrap up really quick, for people who are here just showing up and you watched us dork out, answer questions, be silly for a bit, YouTube's really weird. Just so you know, I do these lives, like we've done in the past. I end the live is now live on YouTube. right? It's a video on YouTube. And then we have to go through and we have to remove all the stupid comments from the people that get angry over the video. I'm serious. They leave these mouth-breathing comments like, they're like, you know what? You're not a professional streamer. You need to have yours together when you go live next time. We don't want to sit around for 5 minutes while you say hi to everybody. Get to the point. Holy crap, man. You would not survive on Twitch. They wouldn't make it. And so to be honest with you, we just have a little cheat for it. The moderators and I, whenever they see it, we just hide them from the channel, which is basically on YouTube, that's shadow banning. And so if you're that triggered and upset how I do my live streaming, then you are not a fan of the show or our content, and see you later. There's millions of awesome people on the planet, and that person is just not one of them. You know? Standing mannequin, why can't you enter? Did you try and enter something? Yeah, no, I'm dead serious, Dyslexic Drew. That's the way it goes. It's like the mouth breather that came in that was upset at the title of the live stream. That's just who they are. But yeah, if you're upset at my content, you're literally unimportant to us. Let's see. Their brains are mush. Oh, you got it hyperfixed? You got the code? Okay, so give them the code again. LMBAN33. LMBAN33 is the code. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highly recommend this. Everyone here that's watching, this is my humble request to you that we would love to have you as YouTube members here on YouTube. We would. That's fantastic. It's awesome. And we appreciate that. Matter of fact, just before we went live, I was literally recording the message from the bunker video for YouTube members and for Patreon. So it is our goal to start putting those out at least once a week, if not 2 or 3 times a week, giving content behind the scenes, what's going on, what we're talking about, things that interest us, mistakes that we've made, or points that we want to clarify in content, things like that, sharing behind the scenes stuff here on YouTube and Patreon. Now, if you don't want to become a YouTube member here on Patreon, or a YouTube member here on the channel, we would love to have your support on Patreon. And how many people here know I got demonetized on X for talking about flock, the flock camera. See, they even put a flock camera here in my studio. They're flocking me right now. And so we were making flock content on YouTube and X and posting it, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. And so this is how you know that how desperate flock is. I only have like 16,000 followers on X. And we posted some flock content over days and weeks on all the platforms. It got like 1 million+ views across all the platforms. And then the #1 person in charge of product at X is Nikita. So Elon put that guy in charge of X. And he handles it all. He has all the buttons and switches. He doesn't like you, he can demonetize you. He doesn't like you, he can ban you. And he does it. He brags and throws that in people's faces all the time that he's like, hey, I got rid of these 10 accounts because I didn't like what they were doing. Okay, that's fine if you didn't like my content, great. But he jumped into my timeline because what happened is I made some posts and Flock came in to my timeline and they were arguing with me about my content. Well, hey, sorry, Flock. Flock off, I don't care. Get out of here. Like, not my timeline. You don't have a right to my timeline. Get out. I don't like you. And so I reached up to his comment. Nah, you don't belong here. And I hit mute or hide. Hide the, is it called? Yeah, hide the comment. So gone. I don't care. You're gone. Well, ready? Like an hour or two later, Nikita, the #1 guy at X, shows up in my timeline with the screenshot of his comment that I'd hidden and said, why did you hide this comment? And then in that, he accused me of being a paid promoter from someone else. That my content was paid promotion, anti-flock content. So I was like, nope. I muted him, I hid it, because I don't like him. Is that a problem? It's literally a tool on the platform. And he came back to me and said, hey, he's an executive with a company that you're talking about. They think that the public has the right to see that. Not in my timeline. I don't give a frick I don't give a flock who they think they're with. What? Right? So I said, no. Right? So he said something about me being, my content was inauthentic content. So if you know anything about YouTube and X and TikTok, whatever, inauthentic content is the catch-all. It's the catch-all whenever they feel like they don't like what you're doing, but you haven't violated a rule. They just call it inauthentic content. So lots of YouTube channels get banned. They call it inauthentic content. So he literally said, terms of service, inauthentic content. And he showed me a screenshot of the terms of service. So I replied back and I said, fine. I said, I can change it, and I'll just change it to the exact words that are in my video clip. Right? Ready? Within seconds, my phone goes ding. And I go, what? And I look over, demonetized on X. So he demonetized me, and then, get this, Nikita went back and deleted every single one of his interactions with me, as if it didn't happen. All of his questioning why I hid the comment, his arguing over that he has a right in my timeline, and then the terms of service part, deleted everything, gone. And I was like, that was really weird. I didn't know this. I did not know that Raul from Flock is childhood best friends with Nikita of X. I did not know that. That is a conflict of interest. Yeah, I got all the screenshots, 100% Sheezy. I did not know that. Nikita invested, is an angel investor in Raul's business that got bought by Flock. It's on OpenX. You can go search for it. I'm like, what? Holy conflict of interest. So Raul from Flock didn't like what I was saying, ran to Nikita at X and said, hey, I don't like this guy. He's getting too much attention. His content's getting millions of views. So then the number one guy at X shows up and says, why are you doing this? I go, because I don't like him. Oh yeah? Demonetized. Yep, that's the way it goes. The way it goes. So anyway, long story, that's what happens when you know you're over the target. And so we created a new resistance tier in our Patreon. We don't know if they can demonetize me on X. They will be, you bet. They're trying to demonetize me on YouTube if they could. If they don't know people, or they're trying to find people, or whatever strings they're pulling, Flock is one dirty, sinister company. And yeah, that would be my humble request, to head over to Patreon. Mrs. LM will drop a link. Head over there, and there's a couple of different tiers. We'd love to have you sign up for any one of them, but obviously the resistance tier would be wonderful, and to show your support and to make sure that the more people that can join those tiers on Patreon removes a little bit of that fear and allows us to continue to create the content that we want to make and that we think that we should make, the content that we think that you should be able to see. Yeah, and we'd love to have your support. So it would mean a ton if you could do that. So thank you. All right. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Crazy, huh? Well, yeah, Builder's Mark. The problem is they can demonetize you for whatever you want. It's a private platform. Oh, hacks or sheep. $20. Incredibly generous. Thank you. Wow, thank you. And look, Gene saying thank you. I appreciate that. Wonderful. Here comes sunshine. I appreciate that. That's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. I'm very grateful. So you guys know that things changed quite a bit. So back in, thank you. Back in January, you know, we'd already planned before January came that we were changing our content strategy, and we started to make content that was more real and more. I think if you've been paying attention to 3D printing content on YouTube over the last 7 months, 8 months, it's on a serious decline. People are tiring of, look at this filament, look at what I printed, look at this printer. That's what we call like a single layer video. It's content that has no depth. So think about content like a layer of, like an onion with layers. And oh, how do you enter? Right there, 2 comments above you, Craig. And content, think about it like an onion, like layers in an onion. And hey, Tin Talon, welcome in. Tin Talon, there's a code up above. We dropped that code called LMBAN33. So anyone that uses that on the sweep widget, you get 10 extra entries in the giveaway that ends tonight at midnight for the battery backpack. So 3D printing for the longest time has been kind of stuck in this one layer content where it's, like I said, look at this filament, look at this printer, look at this thing I printed. And it's very one-dimensional. It's just one layer. And the code word WT Writer or WTP Writer is, it's Miss Ellen posted up above, 2, 3 above you. It's called LMBAN33 is the code. And it is, people want more. The general audience, the average person wants more than a single layer. Now, there are the 3D printing nerdy nerds, they don't want that. They don't want stories, they don't want hyperbole, they don't want cinematics, they don't want music, they don't want anything. Like, give me my nerdy stuff or I'll punish you by not clicking on your video, by downvoting, by leaving a rude comment, you know, that kind of stuff. And so 3D printing people have been trapped in that for a really long time. And I experimented for a really long time before deciding we had to expand by testing these people, finding ways, looking, watching, and no one else in 3D printing was able to escape it. And when I realized that, I'm like, you know what, I think there actually might be some intelligent brains making 3D printing content. Well, not intelligent enough to get out of it, but intelligent enough that they've probably tested. If they couldn't figure it out, and I racked my brains trying to figure it out to get to these people, but they're too literal. They just don't like art, which is weird for a group of people that's supposed to be so creative. So we decided we were going to expand our content, and we were going to tell stories that were deeper, bigger, that had more layers to that onion. And we started doing that. Now, that's our content has evolved and it's changed over the last 7 months into content that I really enjoy. Like I said, I live off-grid. I'm on a mountaintop. I love technology. I was a professional hacker. You're seeing off-grid stuff. You're seeing, well, everything that's on the channel. You're seeing that. And there's a lot more interesting things coming. And I would like to continue to tell those stories, but I don't want the fear that comes along with saying, hey, listen, Flock is a dirty, rotten little company, and then they call YouTube and cancel you and take away your monetization, right? Because that's a real thing. Like I said, to have them do that on X shocked me. As X was supposed to be the town square, and if you disagreed with what I'm saying, if you said, hey, I didn't like what you're saying and I don't think it's true, great. That's what community notes is for. That's exactly what that was designed for. But to have the #1 dude on X show up in my timeline, accuse me of being a paid operative for Flock competitors, and then demonetize me because he's childhood friends with Flock and an angel invested in him? Come on. That's a conflict like you can't freaking believe. And so that's a problem. And so, like I said, Patreon, Loyal Moses, Miss Lam will drop that link again. I'd love to have your support. And like I said, that takes away some of that fear that we can just go and create the content that we want to create, right? So H Rockstar says, yeah, we're going to actually, the 33 Club is moving into the community, community.loyalmoses.com. Now, I'm a little bit behind. I was actually supposed to work on it last night, and I didn't. Well, there's a new website coming. And the website is going to have some different merch and some different things and some different organization stuff on it. Also, any of the things that we have there, like merch and different things, will actually get you extra entries. So I don't know what it's going to be right now, but let me just give you an example. Like if we have some cool T-shirts. If you buy a T-shirt, you get X number of entries because every dollar you spend, you get this many entries in our giveaways. And our giveaways are changing. They're not smaller, cheaper giveaways. We're going with bigger, more useful giveaways. So giveaways like battery, solar inverters, battery backpacks, off-grid power systems. We'll still give away 3D printers, here and there. Matter of fact, I still have a couple I'm supposed to give away. Anyway, like trucks. So we're going to give away things like that that are going to be more useful to a wider general audience of people to change lives. I really love freedom, independence, obviously privacy, security. That's a part of who I am. It's been my whole life. And that's the kind of content that we're really going to be moving forward. So anything in this world that's there. My perspective being independence, freedom, security, privacy, whatever. My lens is the content that I'm going to create. And if that's something that you want to watch, if that's something that inspires you, we'd love to have you join us as a member here on YouTube or patreon.com/LoaMoses. Let's see. Do you have a day job? How sustainable is it? No, I don't. So I am a full-time content creator. So I am a father and a husband, and my wife, Mrs. Ellen, she's sitting over here in one of the studios. You can't see her right here, but she is over that way. So if you can see where I am in the studio, she is this way, the direction I'm kind of pointing, be this way. And she's hanging out over there, chatting with you guys. But no, I am a full-time content creator. And you said, how sustainable is it? It is, you have to know how to create content. And 3D printing, when we were in 3D printing, it's not sustainable. Every single person that's in 3D printing has a day job, a spouse that works, and they're not making money. We were like literally one of the only ones that was self-sustaining with ad revenue, a community of people, sponsors. I have a private investor, all sorts of things that were making our content work. And so when we expanded, things got significantly larger. So we went from a couple 100,000 views a month to 500,000 views a month, like things like that were very normal in 3D printing, to like 7+ million views a month. So, and then that fluctuates. So no, we're doing quite well. But that's the problem, is that as you become bigger and more influential and your content reaches more people, then people like these flockers back here, they know that. And so they immediately go, we can't stop this guy from reaching his audience on YouTube or X. How do we do it? And they go, we need to call the executives and we need to get him canceled. Take away his money, demonetize him. If you take away his money, then we win. He'll stop making content. That's how it works, right? So we'd love to have you support us, like seriously. Whatever you can do, if you headed over to patreon.com/LoaMoses, we'd love to have you, because that gives us the freedom to tell those stories without that fear. Now, so get this. Do you guys watch that Reckless Ben deal? Because I have a different perspective on the Reckless Ben situation. How many people here watch Bricks and Minifig and the Reckless Ben situation? We'll talk about that before we go. Yeah, a president's built around his business. Yeah, Lewis does, yeah. Lewis is a smart dude. What? Hobby Hands? Yeah, your name's Hobby Hands. How do you not know? Dyslexic Drew, how do you not know? Are you serious? Dude, okay, oh my gosh, how do you not know this? What? Oh, wasting time. Oh, dude, how do I do this so fast? Okay. This is gonna blow your freaking mind. Oh my gosh. Are you ready? I'm gonna give you cliff notes. I'm gonna go as fast as I can, but this is gonna blow your flocking mind. Okay, ready? Reckless Ben is a content creator, been around a really long time, okay? Smart dude, super funny, very high IQ individual. Makes great content, tells incredible stories, lots of fun. I mean, just really good at what he does. Just remember that, okay? Okay, so get this. Bricks and Minifig. There's a store that sells Lego stuff. It's a private company. They're based out of like Utah. They have stores all across the nation. They do franchises. Okay, a guy, an old guy, I can't remember his name. What's his name?
His name is Brian Mansell.
Brian Mansell. Brian Mansell goes into. We should literally make this. We should make this its. We should literally make this its own stream. Okay, Brian Mansell goes into a Bricks and Minifig, and he goes, and he says, I have this collection of Lego, Star Wars Lego, that my dad and I have been collecting for a really long time. And he's got cancer. He's passing away. We'd like to sell it on consignment to pay for his medical bills. So this Bricks and Minifig says, sure, we'll do that. So they set up the contract on consignment. They take the Legos. They're in the store, whatever. Okay. Then, get this. Bricks and Minifig sends over a couple of henchmen that run another store. And they walk in and they say that they're going to take the store over, the franchise over. You're not operating it well. We're taking control. Okay, hold on. This is crazy. I'm going as fast as I can. They take control of the store, right? And they say on camera, these people are like, hey, we have these consignment Lego, a lot of money, like $200,000 in Lego. And we want to make sure this guy gets paid. And dude, they say, don't worry about it. We got it. We take full control of that. Get out of the store. Okay, time goes by. Brian Mansell calls up and says, hi, I'd like to know about my Lego in the store. They say, we don't know what you're talking about. He goes, well, I had my Lego there on consignment. They go, nope. We don't honor that contract. We had nothing to do with it. It's our Lego now. You get nothing. See you later. His father's passed away now. Hold on. No, the CoffeeZilla video was good, but the other videos were way better. So we watched the CoffeeZilla first, but then we went and we watched all of Ben's videos, and they were like smoking. So anyway, Brian Mansell calls. He calls Reckless Ben. Come help us. I'm going to give you the short. I'm not going to spoil anything, the stuff that happens or as much of it. Reckless Ben shows up. Oh, legal videos too, yeah. Reckless Ben shows up and tries to talk to Bricks and Minifig, and they flat freaking lie right on camera. They lie to him, tell him he's wrong, none of it happened. Then he walks away. They call the police, tell the police that Reckless Ben just threatened him to kill him, to blow him up. When Reckless Ben filmed everything, right? Then you think that's bad? So he goes to the police and he gives them the YouTube footage saying, I never said those things. This is the full footage. And they're like, yeah, well, we never looked at it. He's like, well, what do you mean? I showed you the footage where I didn't say those things. And they go, yeah, well, we don't know if that was the full video. He goes, it was the full video. It was from the time I got there, left, and was in the elevator. And the police officer goes, yeah, well, video doesn't show everything. And he was like, what? It turns out the police are colluding with Bricks and Minifig, and they are out to get him. He's driving. The Utah police actually stop him. They're looking for him. They walk up. They already know who's in the car. They accuse him of running stop signs, and he didn't run a stop sign. He recorded himself. They came to a complete stop. He requests the body cam footage and the patrol car footage that shows he came to a complete stop. They walk up to the car and tell him they didn't come to a complete stop, and then look in and go, where's Ben? Hey, Ben. They know who he is, right? He literally went to serve papers from a judge, from a court, to Bricks and Minifig employees, and the police said they weren't real papers, and they arrested him. Yeah, the police accused him of doing heroin. I mean, dude, when you see everything that happened, it is unbelievable. You can see the officers panic because they got a judge to sign a warrant, right? And when they realize that, they're like, oh my gosh, what have we done? We got a judge out of bed to sign a warrant. And they know what they've done is wrong. They literally were covering up body cam footage and lying to him. And it's all on video. He did a fantastic job of documenting all of it and having cameras recording and subpoenaing, public records request on everything. It is incredible. Like, you need to go watch it. So I would say go watch Reckless Ben's videos first. Start with the one where he's standing there with the Millennium Falcon. And he's talking about, the Lego being stolen. No, of course not, Dyslexic Drew. That's what I mean. It is so corrupt. There's 3 videos from Reckless Ben. Watch those. Then go watch CoffeeZilla's video. That'll cut you up on all the lies and everything that happened. But I'm serious. On YouTube, it was the Streisand effect. Bricks and Minifigs screwed up so hardcore that they attracted hundreds of millions of views on them now. It is unbelievable. Yep. Yeah, they were calling LA, they were calling different states where he lived to get him arrested. Yep. Isn't it nuts? I mean, it is so wild. You will watch it, and because Ben is such a good storyteller, you're going to be sitting there with your family going, "Oh, like I cannot believe it," and it's all recorded.
And then the town council. Oh.
Yep. Oh, the town council. Yep. Unbelievable. So yeah, you need to go watch. You need to go watch. Like one of my favorite was the crazy part where how's the channel spelled? Reckless Ben, RECK, RECKLESS Ben. Oh, but here's my point. I didn't just want to talk to you about Legos being stolen. No, my point was, guess what they did to him? This is Loyal's lens. Two things happened. What did I tell you that they do to content creators that get lots of views? What do they do? Go ahead, chat. What do they do to you? How do they stop you? Demonetize you. That's what they do. Yep, that's what they did. They went to YouTube, got him demonetized. That's how they stopped. That's how they wanted to stop him.
That's how it was. He was already demonetized.
Yeah. So see, he makes content, so these people run to YouTube and they get him demonetized. Now they figure, now you're not going to make content. So what happens is, that's why Patreon is so flippin' important. And Patreon came out and made a short, like 2-minute video about the issue. Because guess what happened? Bricks and Minifig and their attorneys sent a letter to Patreon to have his Patreon shut down. Can you believe that? I'm telling you, these people are so freaking despicable. And I loved that 2-minute video or 3-minute video from Patreon CEO. What did he tell him? I can't remember his final line, but it's good. His good. Did he flip him off? I can't remember. The virtual middle finger. He had a great final line in that video where he basically said no, that he's with Ben. Yep. Oh, is that what he said? Bricks and Minifig can stuff it. Is that what he said? Oh, he said sue us. That's it. He said Bricks and Minifig because that's what they kept telling Ben. You can sue us. So he goes, you know what? And if you don't like it, Bricks and Minifig, you can sue us. And I'm like, oh, that was so good. So anyway, they want to demonetize you. And so that's why Patreon is so important. And so here I am. I want to make more Flock content. There's a lot more on Leonardo. There's a lot more on Flock. There's a lot more on Axon. If you're paying attention on my X, watch a couple of my videos. I and my attorneys have put in a little less than a dozen public records requests for Flock, Leonardo, Axon, and other information with entities. And some of that stuff has come back and some of it has not come back. And we want to tell those stories because some of these municipalities are going to try to hide the data from us and they're going to ignore our requests, which is law. And they're hoping that you're not going to have an attorney, that you're not going to be able to sue them. Well, guess what? I absolutely will. And so that's why we started out from the very beginning, going through attorneys to request the information. And so I want to tell those stories and I want to do this stuff. And I would love to have you help support us by joining us over on our Patreon. So thank you, Miss Selim. She'll drop that link again. Okay, now get this. This is the biggest one, and this is the story, my lens with Reckless Ben. I don't care so much about Lego. I mean, that sucks, and that's what they did is terrible. My problem, during that situation, the CEO was lying to him and said, send me an email. And Ben goes, I did send you an email. I sent you an email through your website link. And he said, yeah, well, we didn't get it. And he's like, well, I did it. And he goes, well, it doesn't matter. Send it to this email address. And he's like, okay, so I'll send it to this email address, the one that you want. And he goes, yes, do it. So Ben, right there on his phone, right there while they're having the recording, Ben sends the email. Guess what they did? Who knows what they did? Say it in chat. He sent an email while standing in front of him on recording, sent him an email to the email address that he asked for. Guess what they did? Yep, the subpoena. They took his email address, which was Gmail, They went to the police for harassment and then subpoenaed Google for everything on his Gmail account. Everything. They got every one of his emails, all of his video footage. They got Excel spreadsheets. They got all the police camera stuff. They got all the requests. They got everything, scripts of the video, future plans, history, all of it. They got it. So Bricks and Minifig playing freaking dirty. And they got his entire Google everything, Gmail everything. They got his entire Google account. And that's the angle that I have for the story. You would be insane to keep anything of importance inside Google Gmail. Insane. For Ben to have had all of that information, video, scripts, business plans, structures, layout, bullet points, all of it. And then when they subpoenaed it because of his email, they said, well, he's harassing us. And they get a judge to issue a subpoena. They got it all. So they knew everything that Ben had planned and everything he was going to do. They had it all. Dirty. And of course, Google just hands it over. You have a Bricks and Minifig in Corpus Christi? Yeah, we have one here in Wenatchee. So anyway, get this. Should I do it? I got 2 emails from Proton, which I thought was funny. So someone from Proton emailed me, and they were like, dude, love your content. They're like, a guy who lives on a mountain, who lives off-grid, who's making content about Flock and cameras and privacy and Ford and this and that and blah, blah, blah. They're like, you are literally the content creator that we dream of, and we would love for you to promote Proton. Now, I do use Proton for some things. But I laughed, and I thought that was funny that they literally saw my content, watched it, and they watched enough to know, well, I guess it's in my description on YouTube that I live off-grid. But they watched enough videos with our content to then reach out, because I really hate the canned generic sponsorship requests. I hate those. Like the ones that are like, you make such good content. We enjoy content. We want to work with you. Like, ugh, save it. You know what I mean? So I loved it, you know? You have a lot of Protons, but you can't see them. Can you log into your Protons there, DaVinci? Yeah. So what do you think? Should I email back? I haven't emailed back, though. Proton, so they still can get access to certain data on Proton. They can get access to certain data. They have. If the U.S. wanted it, they have to go to I believe, some type of a consortium, and then the consortium would issue the subpoena, and then they would send it over, and they would get some information. But for the most part, everything that you have there is going to be encrypted. So, and they won't have keys for it. That's why they're literally telling you, don't lose your flip and keys. Because if you lose your keys, that's it. You're the only one that has them. They don't have them. You know? Are any American-made inverters that are getting banned as well? No, it's all import-only inverters. Yeah, so no, Proton's been around a long time, but so anyway, should I? I don't know. Maybe I should reply back to him and tell him. Anyway, so what do you think? Crazy stuff going on, huh? Do you think I should continue covering it? Should we continue to go down the path and to cover this and tell these different stories? Like I said, my lens and my take is totally different than everyone else's. I'm not a news reporter. I don't want to be a news reporter. People kept calling me a journalist. Even the Flock people were trying to call me a journalist. I'm like, I'm not a journalist. If anything, I'm an editorialist. So these are just my stories. It's through my lens. It's what I want to say. So no, I'm not a journalist. And so yeah, you'll get it through how I feel it ties to freedom, independence, security, privacy. Yep. Yes, absolutely. Not main focus. Yes, please. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, save the key for sure. Don't lose it. You miss analog car keys, only costing $2 for a new one, not $500 a key. Yeah. Yes, please. We need independent media. I do. I agree. I think we need more people covering this stuff. Flock's been incredible. the flock content, seeing people just come out of the woodworks. Yeah. Yeah, you don't log in Proton? You have the same views? Gotta go. Hey, thanks for being here, Tin Talon. What the flock? What do you think about the what? Reticulum network when it comes to secure, decentralized communications? I don't, how do you say it? We live in a world right now where it's not necessary. How do you say it? I spent my entire life in information security, but I am not a, I don't over-engineer solutions. I'm a realist. And so if you try, it's okay. I went through a period of time in my life where everything I did was encrypted, right? I wouldn't send you an email if you didn't have PGP keys, right? I didn't, it wasn't going to happen. And eventually, you grow up, you wise up, and you realize that the whole world is never going to operate that way. And you have to strike a delicate balance between usability and security, features, security over functionality in features. And so my personal opinion, I have a regular email account that someone could go and subpoena, but nothing in that regular email account is critical. Nothing in that regular email account would put me, my family, my business, or anything at risk. I don't do anything bad in that sense, and especially I don't do anything in that email address. Okay, I have other email addresses that I do business things through, that there is more sensitive information, nothing that would destroy me, nothing bad, but business related. But those are through my own email servers. And so they wouldn't get that. They would have to subpoena me to get that information, right? So I don't wake up one morning and find out that they subpoenaed some, provider, and I go, oops, that's not going to happen. So does that make sense? Did I answer that? So trying to live in a completely private, secured environment or world is an awful lot of work and really unnecessary. So I have a couple. I don't really want to say. I'm a content creator. So the second I tell you what email, I'll tell you one I don't use is I don't use Gmail. I've had loyalmoses@gmail.com for forever, since back in the early days, but I don't really use it much at all. I think it's probably connected on one of my machines, but it just gets spam. I don't ever really use it. Probably not in years. But yeah, I'm not, as a content creator, if I was to tell you what companies I use for my email, you'd just go, oh, and you'd figure it out. Yeah. What app do I use? I use web browser. And then, of course, I use Mac Mail and my iPhone Mail. Is there an easy way to get rid of Gmail? Just sign up, unnamed. Just sign up for another email provider. I would tell you guys to go over and get Proton. I don't have like an affiliate link or anything like that for Proton. But they can be relatively inexpensive. Just save those keys somewhere. Yeah. One thing that I really do like about when you use things like Proton, not sponsored. I do love that you can jump into Proton and they just block all the tracking. I'm sure lots of companies do that, but it's one of the preferences that I have for using Proton for things. I'm so tired of people sending, emails. And even, I'm telling you, even municipalities sending emails. And there's tracking data in there. And they're literally just trying to find out exactly where you are. Yeah, I know. I like it. In the comments, people are like, oh, this guy's totally fake. He's all show. He's just out there talking about privacy and security and whatever. And I'm going, Dude, I live like 100% off grid. Like 100%. Like solar, wind, generator backup, inverters, batteries, the whole deal. No power lines run to this ranch. Nothing. Starlink, satellite, internet. And I was a professional hacker when I was younger. Spent my entire adult life building an information security company. It's literally all I know. You know? Yeah, thanks for being here, high altitude. I have not. I got a couple of friends who are big into Meshtastic, but I've never played with it. They have, Proton has a free account? Yeah. Yeah, I haven't played with Meshtastic. I have a lot of people that want me to. You can see some of your messages are getting blocked by YouTube directly, like as in like right here, right now. It could be. It could be. Oh, we just lost camera. We do have. Hold on. I think we're dealing with the static shock thing again. That's what I think. Hold on. Just a second. I'll go back to my desk. I'll go sit down at my desk and then we'll wrap things up. Anyway, I've not, like I said, I have not played with, there we go, we good? Don't look at my password. Who got my password from that? Oh, hey, Warpaint Unicorns. You couldn't make it tonight, VOD. Yeah, the VOD will be up. We're going to end it here in like literally like right now. What browser do you recommend? I don't know. I switch, to be honest with you, I switch between Chrome and Safari. Yeah. Oh, that's what I was talking about, Thomas. It could be, Thomas, that we have banned words in a YouTube. I don't know how that works on live. We do have certain. Oh. Oh, really? Okay, so it wasn't banned? All right, so then never mind. Mrs. LM said the stuff you're typing wasn't banned. Okay. Brave is good? Yeah. Yep. What do you think, Brave? Brave is good. Oh, man, you saw my password, Thomas? No, you didn't. Sneakers on. Oh, yeah, I saw sneakers show up. Anyway, thank you, everyone. I hope this made sense. I don't know if that. Yep, it's still right there. They banned those flipping things. Anything going forward, that bothers me. That sucks, but I appreciate it. So go over, do the giveaway. Miss Ellen will drop the link to the giveaway one more time, and then she's going to drop a code in chat. So people here that watch the stream, the code to get an extra 10 entries is LMBAN33. So go do that. We went way over. I was trying to keep this to an hour or less, but we're at 2 hours live stream. Also, do me a huge favor if you're still here. Serious. Go to twitch.tv/loyalmoses and give us a follow over there, because when we're over there, it's not this. It is way more fun. Lots more music, lots more sound, better lights, and we do all sorts of different fun things over there because YouTube just doesn't let us have fun. So we do some crazy stuff over there. Hacksaw Sheep. Hang on, Hacksaw Sheep. Thank you. Serious, great content. Love chatting with you. Thank you for another $20. I really appreciate that. That's wonderful. So everybody give Hacksaw Sheep a big thank you. All right, everyone. I'm gonna jump out of here. Say thank you and goodbye to Mrs. LM, and we will see you over in our community.loyalmoses.com. So get over there, make sure you have an account, make sure you do the giveaway, and yeah, we'll catch you here on YouTube and Twitch. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful night, and thank you.